Welcome to Stuff They Didn't Teach Me in Sunday School. One of the shorter poems in our culture goes something like this: How odd of God to choose the Jews. If you want to look at the beginnings of the selection of Israel as God's chosen people in the Old Testament, you go back to a man named Abraham. But to understand Abraham, you have to go back a little before that. There was the worldwide flood, Noah as God's person that he rescued by grace from that flood. The next story in the Bible is after Noah's family multiplies and generations come and go and the earth is repopulated, at least in one given area, the story of the Tower of Babel. God confuses their language, spreads them out, chases them out. And now in Genesis chapter 12, you get God's selection of one of those people through whom he's going to build his nation and send his son as Savior. Why? Abraham. Maybe Abraham was better than all the people around him. Maybe Abraham was a God-fearing man and God recognized that and wanted to honor that and reward that by choosing him. Don't think so. You got to go actually to Joshua to find out a little bit more about Abraham and his background. In Joshua's farewell speech to the people, in Joshua chapter 24, beginning of verse 2, it reads like this: Joshua said to all the people, "This is what Yahweh, the God of Israel, says. Long ago, your forefathers, including Terah, the father of Abraham, and Nahor, lived beyond the river," get this, "and worshipped other gods." A little farther down, Joshua says in verse 14, "Now fear Yahweh and serve him with all faithfulness. Throw away the gods your forefathers worshipped beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve Yahweh." And a little farther along yet, "Choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your forefathers served beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve Yahweh." Abraham's background, evidently, was as an idol worshiper. God came to one of these pagans, one of these people who didn't know him and didn't recognize him, and said, "I'm going to make a great nation out of you." How odd of God to choose the Jews. If you look in Abraham to find the reason for God choosing him, you're not going to find the answer. If you look to God, you'll find the answer. God chooses because God's a God of grace. God chose Abraham because the choosing of Abraham would benefit all of humanity. And God chose you and me because of his grace, not my worthiness to be chosen.